Today is the day. After sitting all winter, we're finally getting the Z1000 back together. New rear tire, fresh chain, full oil change, and by the end of this video, we're taking it out for its first ride of the season. And if I did anything wrong, we're about to find out the hard way. So kick back, relax, grab yourself a bag of crunchy Cheetos because I have another banger for y'all today. So then, let's get to work. First thing we've got to do is get the rear wheel back on the bike. If you didn't know, this thing just got a fresh Continental rear tire matching the front, and in my opinion, it's a massive upgrade over the Shako that we had on it last season. Before we throw the wheel on, we need to clean and re-grease this massive rear axle bolt. That way we don't get any binding, and more importantly, we're not fighting for our lives trying to remove it the next time. Now we can start fitting the wheel back up. There's a ton of parts back here and they all have to go on in the right order. This ensures that the wheel sits centered in the swing arm and that the bearings actually do their job. If you're unsure how all the pieces go back together on your specific bike, there's tons of information online, including shop manuals for most bikes, especially older models like mine. And then we're just gonna snug up this axle nut so that the wheel doesn't move around. After all the bits and bobs are in their right place, we can go ahead and reinstall the rear caliper. Let's go ahead and feed in our new EK X-ring chain around the front sprocket and back onto the rear. From there, we can grease and install the master link. And don't forget to install your O-rings unless you feel like doing this job twice. We went with a rivet style master link because I personally don't trust the clip style links on something with this much power. I prefer my chain staying on the bike. Before pressing the outer plate on, take a measurement from another link so you can get the correct width. Then once it's pressed on, we can go ahead and rivet it. Again, make sure to take a measurement before and after the riveting. General rule of thumb is about 0.5 millimeter of spread from your original measurement. Be sure not to go too crazy as to crack the rivet. You want to go just enough to not ruin your day. You get this Motion Pro style chain tool, you can pretty much crank this thing down all the way and it'll be the perfect amount of spread. And with the chain officially installed, we can now go ahead and take the bike off of the stand, which is exactly as sketchy as it looks when you're doing it by yourself with a heavy bike. Don't try this at home. I think of myself, at least, as a professional. Next up, it's torque time. I like to pull all the slack out of the chain before torquing anything, just so nothing shifts around. It also helps to have somebody holding the rear brake, especially when you're torquing the front sprocket nut to what feels like a gazillion foot-pounds. Sorry about the terrible camera angle while I was bending the lock washer over onto a flat on the nut. But after that front sprocket nut is torqued, you can go ahead and torque all of the rear sprocket nuts as well. You can definitely do this on the bench. I just find it easier when the wheel is not going to move around on you. Before we can torque the rear axle nut, we need to set the chain slack. Once again, more measuring tools. Spec on this bike is about 0.8 to 1.2 inches, measured while the bike is on its side stand. And once we've got the correct slack in the chain, you need to use the marks on the swing arm that they give you to make sure that the wheel alignment is dead on. Quick tip to ensure that the wheel is pulled all the way forward onto those adjustment stops. I like to roll a rag in between the rear sprocket and the chain. And then we can go ahead and torque that rear axle nut to spec, of course, and throw in the cotter pin. And don't come at me in the comments. I know everybody has a different ritual for how they bend and cut their cotter pins. This is the way that I've been doing it since I've started in the trade, and it hasn't failed me yet. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Finally, we have to deal with this absolutely disgusting front sprocket cover. Clearly, somebody has been very enthusiastic with chain lube. Now, this doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's really gonna see it, but I'd rather not pack my brand new chain with 10 years of greasy buildup. Once that's cleaned up, we can reinstall it on the bike, put the side panel back on, and just like that, it's finally time to take this thing out for its first ride of the season. Well, we were supposed to cut to some riding footage, and I did in fact actually go on this bike's first ride of the season, but unfortunately my memory card that I was using decided that it wanted to corrupt all of the footage from that. Sorry about the excessive road noise. I live on a relatively busy street. As an apology, I wanted to bring my 6-year-old mini Aussie Sheltie mix on here. This is Crash, so I hope that you can forgive me for not putting any riding footage in today's episode. I promise in the next one, we're gonna take this bike back out and I'm gonna show you if all of our work in today's episode did in fact pay off. If you wanna see that episode, be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so that you get a notification every time I upload anything for this build series or anything that we do in the future. If you don't subscribe for me, at least subscribe for Crash. As always guys, thank you so much for watching and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!